Lone Survivor, the true story of Operation Red Wings. In June 2005, a four-man team of U.S. Navy SEALs Marcus Luttrell, Michael Murphy, Danny Dietz, and Matthew Axelson was sent on a covert mission. Operation Red Wings, in the mountains of Afghanistan. Their objective was to locate and capture or kill a high-ranking Taliban leader, Ahmad Shah, who was responsible for attacks against U.S. forces. The mission begins. The team was inserted into the rugged mountains of the Quetta province, a Taliban stronghold. As they moved through the difficult terrain, they struggled to establish communication due to the area's high elevation and interference. Encounter with goat herders. While scouting the area, the SEALs encountered 3 unarmed Afghan goat herders. This presented a moral and tactical dilemma. If they let the herders go, there was a risk they would alert the Taliban. If they killed them, it would go against the rules of engagement and their moral code. After a tense debate, they decided to release the herders, hoping they wouldn't betray them. The Taliban ambush. Unfortunately, soon after releasing the herders, the SEALs found themselves surrounded by a large force of Taliban fighters. They were heavily outnumbered, possibly by over 100 enemy combatants. A brutal firefight erupted on the steep mountainside, making movement difficult. The SEALs fought valiantly, but were gradually overwhelmed. Each of them suffered multiple gunshot wounds as they tried to hold their position and retreat down the mountain. Danny Dietz was critically wounded and struggled to communicate over the radio. He was eventually killed while trying to get a signal. Matthew Axelson continued fighting, despite severe injuries, but was ultimately killed. Michael Murphy, the team leader, bravely moved into an exposed position to call for reinforcements. He successfully contacted their base, but was shot multiple times and killed. Luttrell's escape. Luttrell, though severely wounded, managed to escape by rolling down a hill and hiding among the rocks. He was pursued by the Taliban but evaded capture by crawling through the mountains. Dehydrated and bleeding, he eventually came across a local Afghan villager named Mohammed Gulab. Rescue and survival. Gulab, following the ancient Afghan code of hospitality Pashtunwali, took Luttrell into his village and protected him from the Taliban. Despite threats to his own life, the Taliban repeatedly demanded that Luttrell be handed over, but Gulab and his fellow villagers refused. After several days, Gulab's village managed to send word to U.S. forces. Rescue team was dispatched, and Luttrell was finally extracted by American forces. Aftermath. The failed mission resulted in the deaths of 3 SEAL team members and, tragically, 16 more. U.S. troops when a Chinook helicopter sent for their rescue was shot down by the Taliban. This made it one of the deadliest days in U.S. Special Forces history. A quick reaction force QRF of U.S. troops was sent to rescue them. However, a Chinook helicopter carrying 16 Navy, SEALs, and Army Night Stalkers was shot down by a Taliban RPG, killing everyone on board. Lone survivor. Marcus Luttrell, the only SEAL left alive, was badly wounded but managed to escape. He crawled for miles and was eventually found by Mohammed Gulab, a local Afghan villager. Gulab took him in, protected him from the Taliban, and sent a message to U.S. forces. After days of hiding, Luttrell was finally rescued by U.S. forces. Aftermath and legacy. Murphy, Dietz, and Axelson were posthumously awarded the Navy Cross for their heroism. Murphy also received the Medal of Honor. Luttrell wrote the book Lone Survivor, which was later adapted into a movie, starring Mark Wahlberg in 2013. The bravery of the SEAL team is still honored today in military history. The story of Lone Survivor is a powerful testament to the courage, sacrifice, and brotherhood of the U.S. Navy SEALs.